Hey guys, so I hope you're well. I see a lot of things and I read a lot of things on social media too as I work, getting new knowledge for myself and understanding people and learning and getting inspired. And one of the things I saw just recently was about the way in which we respond to others and how we create, critical comments and shameful comments and lewd comments and sexual comments, and what we need to be aware of when we're doing that. And I thought it was a really good post, except that it was stimulated only from the point that it addresses the attention that goes towards females. And I am one of those people that would like to address it as a human prospect as much as possible, like humanity. So I'm just going to give my food for thought on it in a more humanized manner, because I think what we need to understand is, firstly, men and women receive a lot of these negatives. There's never going to be stock standard equality, because at the end of the day, women can at this stage only have children, so we deal with some different things, but men at this stage deal with life another way, and their different challenges and their different outlook. Like you cannot have so much emotional impact in the world. As a woman, I could cry at the drop of the hat. It's deemed quite normal. We're very emotional creatures. But with men, it's could be considered weak or shaming, and that's awful too, because actually to drop a bit of emotion is probably one of the strongest things that men could possibly do, in my mindful thought, to show what society calls weakness is true strength, vulnerability. And so when I see, a woman wearing something that could be deemed provocative or in less clothing, obviously a lot of the time attached to it is a lot of lewd comments or judgmental comments. And often, when you see other social media posts, so if we talk about just general, maybe someone's doing yoga, we could see comments about what they're wearing or their body type, or that it's not good enough yoga, or we see someone, just stating something, and there's always some type of comment of a negative format that is attached to it. The thing that we need to realize, firstly, going from a sexual component, is we all exist in this world because we're sexual creatures. So the seeds of life are sown through sexuality. We are created through sexuality. We cannot disconnect to that. So that being said and understood, the second thing to understand is it's very, very normal to have thoughts that this person turns me on, this person drives me crazy, this person makes me hungry, this person, makes me feel a certain way that is sexual. Very normal. In fact, if we didn't have that, then we wouldn't be able to probably recreate, because even in the animal kingdom, if you look at like a lot of birds and stuff, like the peacock, it throws out its beautiful feathers to attract its mate, because that's how we turn each other on. That's a normal part of the human drive. And you look at young teenagers, teenage years are all about that type of thing. All the hormones have come into play, testosterone and all that is driving force to be curious about sexuality. It exists because it is the seeds to life in the bigger picture, just like animals have recreating, like the mayfly. They all fly off out of the water after they've turned into the fly, and they all mate at the same time and all die at the same time. It's really the evolution of life. It's a circle of life. So it's very, very normal, extremely normal. In fact, if you weren't getting turned on, you probably need to go to a doctor and say, hey, I'm not feeling my sex drive. I don't feel the sensuality. I don't feel these types of things. And there's a lot of doctors that help with that, because a lot of people have lost that ability. So firstly, get to know that it's very, very normal, and we shouldn't be told anything otherwise. It is a part of our human existence. If it wasn't a part, we wouldn't exist. Secondly, the thing that is the difficult component of sexuality is the lewd comments that come across, or the judgmental comments that come across. A lot of people misunderstand mindfulness, and mindfulness is that understanding that we all have this animalistic place of being. So we're all animals, we all have our sex drive, we all have our undying hunger. We all have our passions and interests and judgmental points, and we like the cold and we don't, and this is all kind of, the first becoming. Some of us are afraid of fear, some aren't. And so it's very, very much a part of being that animalistic, non-conscious side where it just kind of projects out. However, what we need to understand is, as a society, our true responsibility is the way in which we respond. It's to say, okay, I've got this imagination in my head. I am thinking maybe this sexual thought about someone, okay? Or I am thinking that I want to judge someone, but I know it's not appropriate. These are some things that may occur in someone's head. So what you do is you have your imagination and your thoughts and you keep them here. And you come back to mindfulness and you say, okay, I know if I put that out in the world, it's probably not the kindest thing I could do. I still want to be a respectful person. I know that I have these thoughts and I'm working on them. They are my opinion, but I don't want to hurt anyone. So in the act of yoga, one of the first things is non-violence, and non-violence is also the act of being kind and compassionate and not hurting others, whether that be with a knife or with the voice of words that you have. So when we see something that maybe we want to comment with a sexual comment because we're turned on, or maybe we want to comment with a judgmental or critical comment, what we can do is say, I'm just going to keep my thoughts to myself and move on. We have a true responsibility, the way in which we respond. And at some point we have to realize that it is the ability for us as humans to control our thoughts and understand that we can control the thoughts and we don't have to project them. It's okay to feel them, but we don't have to project them, which is our true power. And we need to raise the society standards. We don't have to judge every single post and person that we see. We don't have to give feedback of every single person and post that we see. We don't have to follow every single thing that we follow. We don't have to choose to like everything, but we don't have to choose to be mean. We don't have to choose to be rude. We can still choose respect. So often what happens when I see a post that's maybe not my style, then I choose just to move forward to the next post and find the post and focus on the post that I love. Often when I find people that may have evolved and I no longer feel that I resonate with them and their style or format they put out doesn't give me any inspiration or anything, I just simply unfollow. It's not that they're bad or good, it's just that I've evolved and changed. The only constant is change, and I don't need to sit there going, ugh, I don't want to see their posts, ugh, this is this, ugh. I can just say, okay, cool, I'm happy with that journey. I've really grown and evolved from this person, and now I'm moving forward, because the only constant is change, and everyone's in our lives for a season, a moment, and a few people are in for a lifetime. So what I want you to take from this more than anything is that we have the power to be mindful with our thoughts. We have the power to control our thoughts. We have the power to be kinder, and we still have the power to be human and have sexual thoughts, judgmental thoughts, but we don't need to execute them out into the world. So when you go through your life and when you are, feeling those human instincts, that's okay. Breathe. It's not a problem. It is how we are created, is whom we are. But just remember, you still also have a responsibility and you have a power, but you need to understand that you need to use it too. The way in which you respond. It's the same as you have power to go and get fit and healthy, but you have to choose to do the actions, sow the seeds to get the results. We have the power to be less angry, but we have to choose to stop blaming the outside world for all the reasons why we get angry and say, I'm going to take a deep breath and just work on not getting angry this time. We have the power to raise our vibrations to a more positive thought. We have the power to work to become better people. And that is part of it, and how we show kindness and respect in the world. We're always allowed to have our thoughts, but not every thought needs to project it into the world. That's the gift of having our mind and our own privacy. So remember, it's human to feel the things you feel, but we need to raise society's standards to produce a little more respect and love and kindness as we interact in this world. Namaste.